Mike, if you would, just go to quote.americo.com. You can access that on your mobile device. If you go to quote.americo.com and run a quote for a non-smoker and then run a quote for a smoker, it's the same quote. The difference is when you run the quote for a smoker, it'll show the face in year one, what you're asking, then it'll show what the face would be in year 4. And obviously it's different.
Okay. Also, I just ran a thing on our little program we give everybody, the FE cost, where they put in an age and a smoker, non-smoker, male, female, and it pops up what the rate will be. And Americo's non-smoker rate, the Americo Eagle's non-smoker rate, pops up and populates in the smoker category as the same rate as a non-smoker. So I pulled a 60-year-old female for everybody, 60-year-old female with Transamerica, a smoker, is 45 and change. Mutual Omaha is 44. Life Shield is 41. And then you get the Americo Eagle, you're looking at $38. So what you're going to get your client is a less expensive rate. You're going to get them the accidental rider built into the program. And this product here works similar to the Transamerica Immediate Standard. There's only a 1-year look back on the Eagle. So as I said in the beginning, a heart attack, stroke, heart bypass, a stent, a pacemaker, something having to do with the heart, they only go back 1 year. So it happened a year ago, a year and a half ago, a year and 3/4 ago. You can give your client a immediate program with an accidental death benefit rider built into it for less than the competition. And if they're a smoker, it's going to make it a win-win for everybody. So we got to sit and think about that there. The rates are already in the FE cost, which I looked at. And if anybody has any questions, do me a *2, and Jay will open you up. *2. Bobby, go, before we open up the phone call.
Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
Before we open up the call, because I think I see one hand up there, explain or go over another value of why more agents are starting to write your products because of the bonus program you're giving everybody. Can you go over that with everybody so they can see the
and I'm glad you touched on that, and shame on me for not mentioning. There are 2 things I want to touch on, which is number 1, I guess being disruptive in the marketplace as far as cashback. We are the only insurance carrier out there that is paying the agents a bonus instead of a trip. Okay, so I think this bonus period, by the way, they start every single June 1 and go through November 30th, and then we cut everybody an 8% check. Okay, this is not your commission. Okay, this is not what you get through Joe or Equita. This is just from Americo. Okay, we give you 8%. On selected products, we're giving you 10%. And anyway, at the end of the period, 6 months period, we cut out checks. And so the first, June 1 through November 30th. So we cut out everybody checks the first week or 2 in December. So they get their, holiday cash right before the Christmas period or holiday period. And then it starts it all over again, December 1 through May 31st. And then we send out checks the first couple weeks in June so everybody can have some nice cash for the summer. Now, we do this because, various reasons, but more importantly, everybody we have talked to before we rolled this out said they wanted cash. Some guys and gals didn't want to go on a plane ride that's longer than 4 hours. Others just couldn't find a babysitter and asked for cash instead. Some people just wasn't even the location they wanted to go. Again, and then others just didn't, when they did go on these trips, they didn't want to have to go to the business meetings and sit through people that they, quite frankly, didn't even want to be on a vacation with. So, again, I'm just giving you various amounts of reasons. Again, there are so many other reasons, but the good news is there are more and more people that are qualifying for this than there were for our trips. Because here's the thing. Let's say, for instance, we do have a trip, and those new people that were just on the call that Joe mentioned, let's say, for instance, our qualification is $80,000 in a 12-month period. Well, those folks only have about 5 months to qualify for. Okay, it would be extremely difficult for a new agent to come in and start trying to write your product, okay, within that allotted amount of time to try and qualify for a trip. Well, this qualification is much easier to attain, mainly because it's only 6 months long, okay, number one, and it's $35,000, okay? So that's roughly 5 or 6 apps a month, all right? So, again, and there is no limit. I had to sign for a check because this lady out of Atlanta, Georgia, only writes Americo, and her check for a 6-month period was $14,787. Folks, I'm telling you this right now. I took my wife on our honeymoon for 5 nights, 6 days in a little river swim-up suite in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. It was called Majestic Elegance, all-inclusive. It was $2,400. Okay? So, again, we think it's a great incentive for agents. If you want to jump on that, great. If not, no big deal. But the other thing I kind of wanted to touch on, which is the underwriting. Again, I know I promised not to talk much about underwriting because, again, I'm not allowed in that building, as it's kind of joking aside. But I will tell you, quarter one of 2017 compared to quarter one of 2018, we're approving 10. Well, it's roughly 10. It's 8.7% more business we're approving than we were last year. We have opened up a little bit more on underwriting. I would probably say a lot of bit more, and we're seeing it. We really are. Equitas, especially your group, Joe, you're submitting a lot more business than we've seen in the past, and I just wanted to say thank you, and I appreciate the business you do send. So,
you're welcome. Well, you can thank me, but it's the folks on the call that are doing all that hard work, and by you being on the call, sharing this information, I think the numbers that you're seeing from us are going to go up a whole lot more. Let me ask you another question here. I'm looking at this here. 35,000 is net business they need to submit between June 1 and November 30th. And I worked that out. If an average premium is $600, $50 a month, that's 10 applications per month they need to submit. Probably maybe do 11 of them, so in case something falls off, they have an extra one on there. So it depends on what your premium amount is. 11 apps at $600 is going to get you there. And you do that consistently for 6 months, you're going to get 8% of that money. And you said that lady made a check, Bob, you said for what, $14,000 you said for 6 months of work?
Yeah, $14,787. And she took a picture of this house and texted it to me, and she said, I just want to let you know that this is a down payment on my new house. I mean, and that gave me a little bit, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of goosebumps because, number one, it shows that this incentive works. It really does. Again, yes, trips are great. Going to the beach is fun. I get it. But when you're talking about, putting a down payment on a house or buying a car or, I mean, one lady, it wasn't much. I mean, she got a check for $3,000 December 10th. And I met her, where did I see her? Anyway, I think it was long story short, she goes, I just want to let you know that was basically Christmas for all my grandchildren. So, again, I'm telling you this because I think everybody said, well, are you ever going to go back to trips? Quite frankly, I'm going to probably say no, just because of the